and welcome to Maternal Mental Tuesday. My name is 𝙀𝙙𝙞𝙤𝙤𝙞𝙤. 10 years ago, I started a show called Maternal Mental Tuesday. And this time around, I will be bringing the show all back again. But this time, we'll be interviewing mothers to hear their stories, their unique experiences. And today on the show, we have an amazing mother of four, Cheryl. Guys, drum rolls and welcome, Cheryl. Amazing. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Are you sure?
I'm a little bit nervous.
Oh, but you look really like you're calm. You look calm.
That's turning what I want anyway. Pretending to be calm, right?
Don't
Pretending
worry.
to be calm.
Yeah.
Inside I'm dying.
Oh,
I'm just.
what's making you nervous? Do you want to
Things I
share?
never speak about, I think.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I'm going to try and make it as comfortable as possible. So
Okay,
if we start by taking a deep breath together
relax.
and exhale.
I'm good.
Okay, so I'm just going to crack it on and get straight to the point, and then we've spoken about this off camera, and I thought that your story is so unique, and I'm so grateful that you decided to share this very unique story. And it's important because stories are things that people can learn from and share experiences to kind of help shape what would happen if they are faced with that same thing. So sharing your story is not just about just talking, it's about helping another person who, if they find themselves in your situation, would probably leverage on your experience to do better. So I think you're doing a very fabulous thing coming on this show. So thank you for coming. Okay, yes you are, I promise you.
Okay, let's have it.
So we've talked about this off camera, right?
Yeah.
But I just wanted to ask you properly because we're on the show.
Okay.
What was it like becoming a mom when you were still a child yourself? You've said that over and over.
Yeah. I wouldn't say a child. I was 21.
Yeah.
So, that's so
is
young.
still
It is young. And I didn't know her dad really. We had met literally a couple of months prior. And yeah, the relationship wasn't great. It's really difficult because I was not really maternal before that.
Yeah.
Well, I was, but wasn't.
Mm.
I never really envisaged having kids. So it was really weird when I got pregnant and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I had just moved out and separated from another relationship, moved back into my mum's. So we had nowhere to go, nowhere to stay. And then basically he was a bit of a naughty boy. So he wasn't at the birth of my eldest daughter. So that meant that my mum and dad came to the labour. It was the funniest thing now looking back, honestly. My dad was cheering me on like I was playing for some sort of football team. My mum was hysterically crying in the background. It was just a disaster. But, I mean, you sort of have dreams, don't you, of falling in love with this baby. And when I seen her, it never happened.
Yeah.
I didn't feel... I mean, I loved her. And, you know, whilst I was being stitched, I remember looking back at my dad and I was like, don't let nobody else touch her. And I remember looking at him and he was sort of holding this tiny little thing. And I remember thinking, I'm sure I'm supposed to feel differently. So fast forward into that, didn't do one night feed. I didn't know how to work a bottle machine. I had no intention of breastfeeding. All that baby did was cry, Dee. It was so stressful. And my poor mum, I mean, she literally did a full-time job or worked a full-time job. She was up in the night looking after that baby. And when I tell you, what a woman. I mean, and then, I mean, when I told you the story, I know you winced because you were like, oh God. But in actual fact, so my mum already had a flat that I lived in, but I was living at my mum's. So the flat was empty. And then I would just go back there just to get out of the house. I was walking all day long with this baby just to stop her from crying because she did not stop. And then I was at the flat one day, knock at the door. My mum just handed me the baby in the car seat. And she was like, she's your daughter. You need to deal with this now. And I remember feeling heartbroken, like my world was crashing. And I was like, what the hell am I going to do? I didn't even know how to use a bottle machine. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I remember being so angry at my mum. So angry, like, how could she do this? What am I going to do? And then I just remember looking at her thinking, what are we going to do?
Mm.
And then I thought, just stop her from crying. I'll just try and bath her. Bathed her, got her in the bed with me. She slept right through the night and stopped crying. And that girl now is 14. And she is my best friend in the world. I adore her, that girl. Oh, I just love her.
I think I'm hearing so much from your story. I'm hearing support at the beginning and kind of an hybrid kind of form of support where you're like, look, I want to support you, but you've got to come through.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Oh, it was the best thing she ever did.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
She ever did. Had she not done that God thing, it would have gone on and on and on probably. And I think I would have just been more and more depressed. I mean, my mum knows me better than anybody. So, I mean, in her mind, she would have been heartbroken. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So you think that was the best decision at that time? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
She had to do it, otherwise I would have never have done it.
Yeah. I think so too. I think when we talk about support, we sometimes understand that yes, support should come in, but we don't talk about where we have to kind of make the hard decisions in terms of where the mother is. However, I'm thinking, at what point, apart from your family, did the institution kind of give you the kind of support that you needed? Did you receive support from the NHS?
No, I don't think there was.
At the time.
There was much support back then.
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of had it with the third child.
Yeah.
But there was a lot more support then, and I think they could see there was more signs, because there's a difference from baby blues to actual depression. And like I said, no one actually tells you that, you know, you see all the films and you see, you know, all of these programs where you're just supposed to be programmed to love your kid. And there's going to be no worry. And I mean, when I got pregnant with my second one, I was thinking, am I going to love him the same? Am I going to go through this again?
I like that.
Oh my God, I was absolutely petrified. And oh my God, the second I seen him, it was instant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was with the others. So it's just, I feel really bad now.
Yeah.
Looking back thinking.
I get what you mean.
But yeah, it was instant, whereas no one tells you that it's not going to be like that. Especially if you're first, you don't know anything. And at 21, I didn't know what I was doing. I went from clubbing every weekend to having a newborn, and I was thinking, oh my God, and I've not been out since. But I don't know.
Cheryl, I think I'm really proud of you, because from what you're saying, and I'm so grateful for where we are as a society, we've moved from the lack of support to now structured, institutional, a little bit of support. There are even non-governmental organizations that now give support to families and mothers. And I think that's an amazing thing to note, that from 14 years ago to where we are right now, we're a little bit steps further, because there's only, as much as the family wants to support you, your family had done so much already. They were there throughout, right? And they had their lives too. You see what I mean? So there is only a little bit that they can do, which is their duty. Yeah, and they're not experts. Exactly.
I was sad about the situation. The fact
exactly.
That the father wasn't at the birth.
Yeah.
That he was so bad beforehand and whatever else. That's probably what they were thinking.
Yeah.
They weren't to know, and it probably was an accumulation of these things.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't a thing back then. People didn't know the telltale signs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even if you did really, there wasn't as much support.
And that's why some people are now tailoring support not just to the mother, but to the people that support the mother, how best to do it.
In mental health anyway, there's been a massive shift.
Yeah, there is.
And there's so much more support out there now,
there is.
in all aspects of it.
We still have a long way to go, but we've done so well. We've answered it a bit. I was just thinking, you've said this before, that you were a mother before you were a mother. Kind of said it. How do you think that shaped the way you showed up for your own kids?
Completely different. So I grew up with mum and dad, 2 up, 2 down, working class family. They were married, you know. Everything's great. They both worked really hard. But my mum got sick quite a few times during my childhood. Bless her. And I mean, she was in hospital for long, long periods of time, which obviously left my dad to have to keep a home, look after kids. You know, we had some external support from my nan and granddad, but they were running a business at the time. There's only so much that they could do. And she was never really there, bless her. So, I mean, she was, but she wasn't, you know. And it seemed like whenever she came back, she was gone again, because she was 40. And I had a little brother, and he was only tiny. So real quick, you go from being a child to have to learn to cook, clean. You know, I was packing his bag for school, all of that kind of thing, and just so close, like I was his little mummy, I suppose, you know. But so yeah, that's what I meant by sort of being maternal. I think he sort of made me a little bit more maternal because she wasn't there. But
you would think that life was preparing you.
You would think life was preparing me, and then, I got hit with that baby.
Yeah.
But then I was obviously he had my dad and granddad were there and stuff. Whereas when you have a baby, it's just kind of you, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, those days where I come from, those things are kind of common where the oldest child looks after the younger one. I think it's something that parents leverage on to help them keep their head afloat, which goes back to saying parents need support.
See, I'm really different like that.
You see?
Yeah, I'm really different. So it is always a thing, isn't it? Whereas like older siblings, like you said, look after the younger ones, but not to that extent of cooking and cleaning at that such a young age. But I'm really funny with my kids. You know, my daughter will be like, "Oh, can I change napkin?" I'm like, "No, I'm the mum. You're the sibling." You know, I don't want.
I think that's amazing.
I don't want them to ever feel like I'm their mummy. It's not their job to parent for me.
Yeah.
I mean, help me. You know, can you run upstairs and grab me some wet wipes? That's completely different. You know what I mean? But I would never ever be like, "You're looking after the baby. I'll cook the baby's food for me. You do this. You do that." Really funny about it. You know, my mum's like, "Oh, why don't you just let the older one take the little one over the park?" And I'm like, "No." My kid, you know what I mean? I want them to be kids.
Yeah, I think that's something really amazing, letting kids be kids. But then again, we need to, I think it's something of striking the balance, especially when they have started, advancing in age, testing the responsibilities in bits and seeing how much they can handle it if they can, whilst supervising them. You don't necessarily have to dump your mother duties on them, but just like you said.
I think there's a fine balance instead of making them independent, which, I would like to think they are to a certain extent, but just not putting your
own responsibilities on them. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. I think that's something worth talking about, because I am for that, where you let children, especially preteens, just let them be the children that they are. Let them experience being a child, not putting the responsibility, because even as an adult doing that is even taxing. Imagine giving that to a child.
Especially
see what I mean? Yeah.
Different kind of fish that.
I think it's something that I'll talk about in one of my videos one of these days, which is very important that we note. But anyways, I have 2 more questions for you, and then we'll call it a wrap, because I don't want us to do a long stretch of videos. And are you just check up on you? Are you feeling a lot better now?
Good.
Are you sure?
Rolling.
Amazing. We're gonna go a little bit deeper, and we're gonna talk about something quite sensitive. Are you okay with that? So, during the domestic abuse you spoke about, we talked about this off camera. You were still parenting, right? How did you even keep on going mentally when your own life felt unsafe? Because I couldn't wrap my head around it. How were you able to keep...
Well, it's easy. It's a little thing called no choice, honey.
Yeah.
And I had no choice. I mean, as a parent, what choice do you have? Those kids, just because their parent decided to make a choice that wasn't the correct one, you still need to... What was I supposed to do? Crumble? I couldn't... Sometimes I felt like I was, with the court cases, things like that, and I had to go to school plays after having facial surgery and watch my baby on that stage being a fairy whilst her mother's in the audience with her face in a strap, and everyone, the Chinese whispers of the school, what's happened to her? That's the most brutal part of it. But really nothing changed. I never wanted them to feel, I never told them what happened. I never said, I think they know now, the older two, they know. But I never wanted them to feel any different. The house was still as fun as what it was before. I woke up every morning. You have to wake up. What else can you do? I wasn't going to have them feeling any type of way apart from me still being their mum. And I don't think they do now. I don't think they feel... I mean, I know that the boy, he suffers a little bit more than the girl, because I think she takes on some of her dad's mental load, whereas the boy, he's just all for me. He doesn't take one bit of it on, if that makes sense, other than how he would like to treat a woman, which I find really interesting actually. He reposts stuff on TikTok of it, and I'm like, wow, that's so he has taken it on slightly, but maybe just doesn't show it as much as the girl. But I just think I had no choice. I had no choice, and looking back, they saved my life. Do you know what I mean? I know that sounds really deep, but they did.
Yeah.
Had I not have had them to wake me up every single morning and sleep in the bed with me, and God knows, because I would have fallen into depression. I think most women do when you've gone through that type of stuff, and you feel like your life's not your own. And yeah, it's the harsh reality.
I think it points back to something very deep, that sometimes the reason, the motive is what makes us keep showing up.
Yeah.
Even when
it's a purpose, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
You give them a life and they give you purpose, I think.
I think so,
I think that's really kind of what it boils down to, but which still leads me to the fact that mothers are instinctively looking after another person, looking after the children, looking after the well-being, putting the well-being of the child utmost, and no one is actually looking after them. That's so true.
Which is
this is our first time on the planet too, right?
Yeah,
it's so bizarre.
You're all learning. We're learning to literally. It leads us back why we cannot shove it under the carpet supporting mothers. We can't.
Do you know what I was thinking about the other day as well? Why do mums find it really difficult to say I'm a good mum? Do you know what I mean? Like, you rarely ever hear a mum be like, oh, I'm a great mum. Oh, I'm such a great mum.
I think they're not being taught that. We're not being taught to say that.
Yeah, why? Why is that?
I think it still boils down to every other aspect of our lives. When people say, "Oh, you're a fabulous person," no, I'm not. You're easily going to tell yourself. You're easily going to talk down on yourself. That is why conversations around self-care is something that we should be talking about more.
That's probably the worst thing for me. I'm so hard on myself when it comes to being a mum. Ridiculously hard on myself. And I think all good mothers are.
Yeah. Really. And we should be a little bit kinder.
If you weren't a good mum, you wouldn't care.
No, you see?
So it's really bizarre, right? Yeah. We are so hard on ourselves. Yeah. But even, not a lot phases me. I'm quite a tough cookie. But, I mean, I forgot to give my kid 20p for toast money at school and it kept me up awake at night crying for 3 days. It was 20p. And she told me, this is funny, she told me that, she was like, I didn't have any toast. Could you imagine? All I was thinking was she's going to be in the queue waiting to get her piece of toast. All the other kids have got it. She didn't get hers. Oh, I didn't get my toast. So I went into school the next day and I was like, I'm so sorry. I forgot the toast money. She was like, oh, don't worry. I had the toast.
They can look after themselves.
I was like, there's me crying. And she lied. She had the toast.
Oh.
But how harsh, you know what I mean? That's how harsh I was.
I think, I don't want to sound a little bit insensitive, but I think as mothers, I mean, obviously I'm not yet a mother, but we need to move past that. Oh, I'm a messiah. I've got to save things, and just realizing that I needed to do that for myself with my nieces and my godchildren and all. I need to just because you see them want to do things for themselves. They sort out things, even at a tender age, just sort themselves out.
Oh yeah.
And I think it's just a natural human instinct where we always figure out ways to sort things out. And I think that boils back or pivots us back to self-care, where you're like, look, I'm not a bad mom for going out to have a cup of coffee when I just gave birth 2 weeks ago.
But then, I think a lot of it as well, the pressure of being a single mum, being a young mum, is so much more intense than being in a couple or in a marriage or, raising a child together. Alleviate so much pressure. Whereas when you're a young mum, you already think that the world's against you because you're a young mum and people are waiting for you to fail. That's how you feel being a young mum. And, the health visitors, they'll come round and be like, so are you doing this correctly? Are you doing that correctly? And you feel like you're not doing. So I think you've got more fire inside of you to get it right and to be like, I will smash this. And that's how I felt being a young mum. And I still feel like that every single day being a single mum. Every day. Because I will not let my kids.
That's a lot of pressure.
It is a lot of pressure to put on yourself. But then I think I thrive on it. I wouldn't have had 4 kids, Dee, if I didn't thrive on it, I don't think. Yeah. I love it.
Well done, Cheryl. I'm just curious. Do you think on your journey to motherhood, if you had like a mentor, like a mother who had gone through that path, or maybe like a community of other mothers where some stuffs we've been taught about motherhood, self-care, certain conversations that we've had about, we've spoken about. Do you think that that would have shaped your experience differently, even currently? Do you think access to support from other people,
because
learning?
I think when I had the older two, sorry. I think when I had the older two, it was just books. All you could pick up was a book: how to breastfeed, how to pump, how to do this, how to do that. There wasn't a podcast that you can listen to of my baby doesn't stop fucking crying. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't anything, like how we're talking now. There wasn't anything like that. Whereas I think maybe if there was things like this around, you wouldn't have felt so isolated.
Alone.
And because being a parent is isolating.
It is.
Especially being a single parent. When they go to sleep. I mean, now I've got older ones, so I'm, like I said to you, I could never be lonely if I tried. Because there's always someone running around or being up late or, you know. But when you put them kids to bed and you're a single mum, although there's like the relief, you know, I'm tired, I get a bit of time to myself or whatever, you're like, oh, well, what's on the TV then? And if there's nothing on the TV, it's kind of like... But what I would say is that I surround myself with great friends, great mums. I can pick up the phone at any point, and so can they, and bring me, and we will talk for 3-4 hours on an evening. All support, all advice. I did it this way. No one's judgmental, you know. So I think get good friends.
I really love what you said. So as much as we are looking at institutional support, let's talk about domestic support, which is friendship, families, you know, nannies, nans, and all of that. I think it's something really amazing, because when I'm thinking top of my head from your story, how did she cope with this? And you just mentioned something really, really important: friendship, community, people who will tell you how they did theirs, which makes it a little bit less, you know, isolating for you. You know what I mean? So I think we've really, really talked a lot. I really had other questions I wanted to ask you, but I don't want to stretch this video longer than it should. We'll probably do part 2. But just to round off, I'm going to ask you one question. This time it's going to be for the audience. You're going to share what your wealth of experience. You've got 14 years of experience as a mother, and there is something that you could have learned that some other person would be learning from this podcast right now. Based on everything we've shared, you've got 14 years of experience as a mother. I'm thinking, what would be your advice to other mothers out there who are probably at the stage where you, especially if they are single mothers, or if they are currently facing domestic abuse, or they are currently facing co-parenting or parenting their stepkids? What are the things that you've done that, I mean, apart from you having a very resilient mind, what are the things that you think could help ease out that pressure, ease out that demands that, you know, you will place on yourself as a single mother, or generally even as a mother, that has helped you thrive in your 14 years of experience as a mother?
I would say trusting yourself and knowing that everything is going to be all right in the end. Because at that time you're so consumed, whether it be, oh my God, I'm a single mom, no one's ever going to want me again, dealing with heartbreak, or going through domestic abuse, and whether it be court cases or feeling scared or lonely or whatever it can be, it's all going to be all right in the end. I mean, I went through all of that, and at that time I thought it was the worst thing that ever happened to me, and by far it was. I'm not trying to underplay it, but I remember feeling like there was no end. And how am I going to get out of this? And, you know, like I said earlier, my kids kept me alive at that point, kept me out of depression. Whereas I wish I could have just said to me, it's going to be okay, and you will get through it. Because now I don't even think about it. Do you know what I mean? You don't even look back. Time. And just being kind to yourself, which I know sounds really hypocritical, because I've just said that I bash myself regularly, and, you know, I'm my harshest critic, but I wish I could be kinder to myself. And I wish every mother could be.
I think that's amazing. 2 most important things: be kind to yourself, even when you catch yourself not being kind. You know, intentionally find your way back
and give
to being
yourself a bit of
kind.
grace. I mean, all mums make mistakes. Like I said, it's our first time on the planet. Give ourselves grace, have patience with yourself,
Mm.
and like you said, don't feel guilty about
Yeah. Whatever it is.
or
Yeah.
shutting yourself in the bathroom for
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we've all done it.
Yeah.
I won't be the first one to forget the toast money, and I won't be the last.
You wouldn't.
You know what I mean? Like, we're humans.
Yeah.
We're mothers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We have to be kind to ourselves.
Yeah.
Cheryl, thank you very, very much for coming on the show with me. Thank you very much. I feel like your story is really unique, and I thank you for sharing it with people out there. You never can tell. Hopefully I'll be able to share the comments with you and what people's got to say about it. I'll try and broadcast it. No, they're not going to say that. I will try and broadcast it. We've got an emailing list of mothers, about 1,000 plus mothers, and we have access to our emails almost every week. So I'm just going to edit all of this and get it out there, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will come back with positive reviews and how this podcast was helpful. Hello everyone, if you want to be a part of this show, the Maternal Mental Health Tuesdays, please send me an email on the email address showing on the screen right now, and you might just be able to come on the show to talk about your motherhood experience wherever you are in the UK. I'll see you on the next. It's a goodbye from me and Cheryl.